some cabinets, or I'll trade you an egg, or I'll boil up some syrup, or I'll brew up a keg. Teach all the children about the Corporal Clegg. He had a wooden leg, y'all. I wish I had a wooden leg. 'Cause I had to turn away. I think I got something more to say, though I won't say it from the streets. I like to always know there's always something here I like to eat. I got 1,000 ideas, just a tenth of the time, and I ain't gonna waste it on no company time. Noose round my neck with the winter design. I will sell my friends my skills, Lord. I sell my friends my skills. And we'll prove our independence when our handshakes agree. I will tattoo your shoulder if you chainsaw my tree. Smile through our to drink our sweet herbal tea and to wait our opportunity. I am holding opportunity. And I have to stay awake. That life, it was more than I could take. I scratched out just a little space to breathe. Some brown man, all income is the only thing I really need.
Here we are, and live from the asphalt parking lot we call Elkhart, Illinois. Will my video finally play? Let's see. Here we go. If I can get this son of a bitch to play. I'm so sick of computer issues. Here we go.
That is not what they said in 2019.
Oh, Jesus.
Because the lie detector specialist was murdered in a house fire with a daughter. Oh my God. Changing a tire. How many fucking judges you
Okay, there we go. Hopefully I can be heard. I don't know. It's kind of burning my ass a little bit. You know, I'm like trying to broadcast last 2 times, and even though I got Ethernet hooked up, like it's not going well. Having a lot of technical difficulties. I need a new machine. Well, yeah, but how is this? Oh, it looks like you left too, Daddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess I have to postpone because I'm having all technical issues. I apologize. Screen now. Oh, garbage. Well, I'm gonna kill this one. This is not good. No. Somebody's back. I don't know. I don't know if I can be heard or not. I mean, like I said, I'm fighting against technical issues tonight. It's kind of annoying. You know, I like to play the clips that if I can't play clips and a song to start the show, like it's not going to flow well for me. So I do apologize. I mean, it's just a matter of not having a worthy machine that can handle more than one process at a time, I guess. In other words, you can't play a video or 2 videos at once. I can't be live and play a video. That's goddamn ridiculous in this day and age. But I'm not sure what to do about it besides buy better machines. So for now, we're going to say goodnight. Apologize for the confusion here on the show. But again, it's just too difficult to broadcast. So I'll try to get my shit together and get back on it. Thank you for being here, Dandy. I hope you're doing well. I hope the fire has certainly subsided and that you're not going to get washed out now with rain. I wanted to talk about, the other night's show was really great. I now have an interview, it looks like, set up with the actual photographer. Hey, Boston. I was about ready to kill this stream, Boston. It's really, I can't even play I wanted to play, I like to play the clips, when I come in, it throws me off something fierce when I have multiple technical issues. I mean, but that's just the way it is, boo-hoo. So I hope you're doing good tonight, Boston. Again, I'm still kind of on a high from the last show, I felt the last show was probably one of the most exciting shows we've ever done. I thought the content was great. I thought the company was great. I thought the chat was great. So, again, I've been in contact with the photographer. They're cool with actually probably doing a whole interview with me on the air. So we'll get to meet this person. We'll get to hear the firsthand account from the property and the angle they filmed it from. And that's what I've been arranging here, is to be able to go to the location. There is Wi-Fi available at the location. And my thought is that we're just going to go right there from the location. If I can get a computer that's not, I just won't load up any songs and crap, it's just the way I sort of get myself into the show. It's hard to explain what it is in any one way that sort of amps somebody up to do this, but audio issues which I'm having right now, and it's really unacceptable, in 2026 to have audio issues. It really is. So the fact that I have an Ethernet line hooked up to the the internet is and then I restart the computer, it doesn't seem to improve it. It just tells me that this computer cannot handle these processes. So I just need a new machine. That's the bottom line. Something that costs more than $100. Maybe I better spend $200 next time. So that's what I got tonight. I'm gonna eat some homemade shrimp lo mein. I was hoping to have people call in maybe tonight or something. Again, I had a whole bunch of video clips set up to play, but I just can't. It's just won't cooperate with me. It's been a shit signal ever since I've gotten here in Elkhart. I'm not sure if there is a dome of shit around this city that prevents, cell phone and Wi-Fi signals, getting through. But like I said, I have the Ethernet hooked up. Boston, at least we get, Yeah, this is going to be good too because it comes from the fancy Japanese steakhouse next door, and I'm friends with one of the employees, and they hooked it up for me pretty good. Yeah, I guess I got some soup and a salad as well. Although I'm going to have to skip the salad until the explosive diarrhea is subsided. With this what's it called, Boston? Oh boy. Sporia cyclo. I can't think of the name. It escapes me the name of this whatever bacteria or whatever is going on in the lettuce here. As much as I love a salad and love lettuce, all different kinds, green leaf lettuce, romaine. Give me any kind of. I'm like a big rabbit. I will munch away on that lettuce, but I can't risk having to wear diapers on the job. It's embarrassing to have explosive diarrhea. And I'm guessing on top of that, you just don't feel well, So I'm trying to avoid that situation. And the government says it's coming from the lettuce. I'm not eating lettuce until they get this worked out. That's just the way it is. Until I get some kind of positive vibe on this, whole deal. Of course, I do want to say that I want to say thank you to President Trump. I don't want to heap too much praise, of course, on him, but I want to say thanks for clearing the way finally after decades of keeping people silent on the UAP UFO subject matter. I think it's worth noting that this president is taking the side of the whistleblowers. It appears. Now, this isn't an executive order, but he is clearing the way for whistleblowers who have signed non-disclosure agreements. In other words, the same people that go into SCIP with Congress and let them know all this, the juicy details on all these USAT programs, unacknowledged special access programs, are now going to have the ability, as long as it's not disrupting current national security state features, to go and say it, not just to Congress, but pass that on to the public. I think we're finally going to start breaking the shell here. I think we have to. That was going to be something I was going to touch on the show tonight. I was going to title the show Reckoning. The NHI basic ontological shock that's coming. Initially, I was worried about my religious friends, my ones that, of Boston, believers, serious believers in God, as far as an Abrahamic faith. But I'm starting to think that the religious folks may be just fine. That it's going to be the atheists that aren't going to be able to handle the fact that this isn't all about solid body craft. This isn't all about biologics flying those craft from far away planets and civilizations, because that's certainly something an atheist can get behind. What they're going to end up finding out is that this phenomenon is tied deeply to the ethereal realm, whatever that means. And that's not going to sit well with an atheist crowd. And so when they have to sit there, and I was one, maybe I still am to a degree, when you have to sit there and suddenly realize on a world scale, all at once, we've never had a topic like this in our lifetime or in our humanity's lifetime that's going to have the ability to be on one side of the ocean, the other, and everywhere all at once as a message that's going to be this transformative when it does come out officially. That's why I feel official disclosure is important from a high governmental level. So I think people that are so strictly science, once they realize that this phenomenon is deeply tied to something else more mysterious, I think they're the ones that are going to have to realize there's something greater than themselves out there. And that's a tough realization for an atheist, a science-based atheist, that all this isn't just by chance and, the right elements kind of came together under the right conditions. And This once in a billion thing bloomed. And I'm worried about them. I'm glad I'm not one anymore. I'm glad that I think people that experience the phenomenon in any way, whether it is that hard body craft, an orb, perhaps a even just a paranormal experience where you really honestly feel that you have had some kind of interaction with a force unseen, perhaps. Okay, anyone you either know if you know or you don't if you don't. Because if you've never had an experience like that, your first initial instinct is to sort of sit back and chuckle and roll your eyes. But I'm here to tell you, as that atheist, things go bump in the night that there are no explanation for. And they have since the inception of mankind, in my opinion. And I think this is going to be something that once it finally does slap everyone upside the head, and we can look back at War of the Worlds from that broadcast. People were jumping off bridges, not a ton. They made that sound a little more dramatic than it was too, but people were panicking and beginning to panic when they thought that Martians were here blowing up New York or wherever they had landed, They did that sort of faux news broadcast. It was a brilliant broadcast. I mean, but I think we're in for it. I think it's going to happen soon, and I don't think now that it's on a time scale that our government is choosing. You see, I think it's on a time scale that they or it is choosing. So it's either get on board or they're going to make their presence so overwhelmingly known that there'll just be no denying it. That's all I have to say tonight. I kind of lost my my train of thought, having to restart the computer and do all that nonsense and deal with that. So, I mean, I really didn't have anything. I was just going to turn it on tonight and sort of go, But that's about all I can come up with on it. Other than that, I'm just very concerned that, I think about a lot of my friends and growing up, and we would sit around having these deep discussions for hours. None of them ended with a phenomenon that has multiple entities from multiple places and or dimensions that and hybrid programs and this whole thing, so there's so many elements to this. There's so many stovepiped sort of individual stories to tell when it comes to this phenomenon that's been making its presence known here for humanity, as far as I'm concerned, since humanity has been around, but more prevalently since we began splitting the atom. They say 1945 was the first crash recovered. Basically, that crash was recovered in 1945 at the Trinity test site. One Dr. Jacques Vallée has done a story on this. That was basically either gifted or when it landed, it had basically zero damage. And that's the silver or chrome-looking egg-shaped craft that James Lacatski talks about after having for 40 or 50 years that he knows they finally got inside of it, and they had it for decades. That's how complicated this stuff is. This is not from around our time, It's something totally different, guys. And what I don't know is, we're seeing so many different things, so many different shapes and sizes, that it would lead you to believe that there's multiple things going on. But my question comes back to, is it all just really tied to one overarching phenomenon? And they're toying with us. They're fucking with us, basically. They have complete impunity to do what they want. They can turn into different they can morph into things. I mean, I know this sounds nutty, but it's coming out. And how compromised are we in terms of how we've appeased them? If you believe the treaty talk is true, and this is gaining a lot of traction right now, the Greada Treaty that was signed by Ike Eisenhower, where he traded off some human rights for technology to the Greys. Right. Or at least had to meet them on multiple occasions to help mitigate previous bad deals that the Legacy Control Group had set up with the Nordics. As wild as this shit sounds, it's in the documents, it's in the government, it's in the databases. And these things are now given a credibility level by people in Congress. That doesn't mean much, but they have the means sometimes to have back information that they can't talk about. So I tend to take what they say a little bit more seriously. Plus, they're trying to be reelected every 2 years if you're in the House of Representatives, right? So going off willy-nilly on something that's just a wild conspiracy may not be the best thing for your career. But how you doing, Shay Watson? It's gonna be a short one tonight. I have some shrimp lo mein that I'm going to be probably eating way too fast. It sounds so good. I've been craving this shrimp lo mein for days now. I got all the little sauces, you know. Apparently there's some hot mushroom soup in there for me and a salad, which I won't be eating. Yeah, Shay, I had a ton of technical problems. This computer is no good. I need a machine that can handle it, you know. This thing's a kiddie machine here. It's just like can't handle the processes of. Now, I'm glad I haven't had any interviews set up, because just pulling somebody in at this point for an interview would be a hassle. I don't think increasing. I'm at the lowest internet speed, but again, I'm tied to an Ethernet, so I don't feel like increasing the internet speed is really going to help me. I feel like even the lowest internet speed with Ethernet hooked right up to your computer, it should be just fine for a simple broadcast. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys think I am, let me know. I don't know. I got some kind of cheap $100 wonder from, you know, online. It was brand new though. It's a Lenovo, the cheap Lenovo from Walmart. Yeah. Which is, but I actually have a warranty on it. I guess if it's not running well, I could send it in and tell them to reload Windows. I feel like that's what it needs, because it just seems like it doesn't know what to do. It just like gets all garbled up and freezes and everything. It's just too damn annoying for a broadcast. We're going along pretty good here now, but I didn't get to play the clips I wanted to. Yeah, really, Shay? Oh, yeah, you have a Lenovo and it's crap. I had one. My first Lenovo ThinkPad was really great. That was a wonderful machine. Touch screen, and it had. I just think this doesn't have the excuse the language, the balls to run too many processes. It's just too complicated when I start loading up 4 or 5 clips, video clips that I want to play, and then bringing that up into a third-party app, running that in conjunction with YouTube. We already know those two don't necessarily go together like chocolate and peanut butter. Why, I don't know. Seems like they'd have it together by now, you know. But StreamYard doesn't have an app. So you can't do it from your phone. You have to do it from a computer. If I wanted to broadcast from my phone just on YouTube, of course I could do that, but then I can't pull people in on the show. I like that option, you know. What if Cryptex isn't bored or something and says, you know, I'll come on, Farmer, you know, something like this. Or even to Mr. Steve if he'd ever want to talk about a case or something. Not that he does that much anymore. But I did see him on Drunk Turkey, you know, talking about the Nancy Guthrie case and I think another one. So he'll make an occasional appearance. But I feel like I'm not sure this is that show. Shay saying, I only have 6 laptops and a desktop. You only have 6 laptops, huh? None of them work well? Is that where you're at with that? Yeah, I just need one good working computer, you know. No doubt that I think a home computer would just be the best for me. Something with a lot of processing power that, you know, I mean, I had a good home computer too, but it just got old. It got old, you know. I was just saying I had the perfect computer, and I've been trying to get there again. Alienware, but I think they don't make those anymore. Are you sure? I don't know. I feel like I saw those. Those ones were always the most expensive laptops. But if I may make a suggestion for a future computer, look at Dell. Yeah, I actually do like Dell. Oh, they make a good laptop. My brother-in-law famously gave me a great Dell laptop, and then I farmered it. You know, I farmered it. I can't tell him that. He's not in the room tonight, so I went through quite a lot of equipment there. The last year I was at my house, it seemed like everything used to piss me off, you know. And for some reason, I took it out on the technology. I think I was just very unstable at that time. Boss said, "Hey, the Mustang." And you know, I don't even get that mad anymore. It's just frustrating, just in that I don't like it for you guys. I like it to be a really a lot smoother than that, you know. Oh, Dell did make Alienware. I didn't realize. And Shay saying, by the way, hey everybody. And hi, wow, this here milk. I was gonna quit so early tonight. You know I can't quit when my sister from another Mr. shows up. How you doing tonight, Hiawatha? I like to play my little clips of me. Maybe I'm an egomaniac. Maybe I really am an egomaniac. But I feel I have a good knack at self-promotion. And when I play these little clips where I interviewed Sleuth and he says something complimentary, I mean, I've always wanted to have, you know, a couple of Mr. Steve's comments, but they were on his broadcast, so I can't really do that. Or so flattering, you know, and I like to cut those up and then put them on before I actually come on to trick the audience into thinking that other creators have respect for me. So that's all. No big deal there. Just want to be honest. It makes me feel good, you know, when I hear Kristen laugh her ass off when she's like, "Who do you remind me of?" And I am just like, G. Gordon Liddy, you know, and she laughs really hard, you know, like, or Sleuth saying, you know, basically besides everyone else online, you couldn't trust anyone but me. I'm sure he wouldn't say that now, but I would contend. He'd never say that I did anything behind his back that where he couldn't trust me, even though we don't talk anymore. So, Abby's here. How you doing, Abs? And saying hello to everyone. You guys are going to force me. Okay. If you guys are going to be here, we're going to do it. Okay. Whatever we were doing. It was really just a Ask Me Anything show. And I was saying Boston and Dandy was here. I think she got sick of waiting for my computer to restart. Who knows? But she was here and she made it through the wildfires, but now they're dealing with floods. You know how that is. Everything burns down and then you get the rain and everything washes away. Welcome to life out west. You know, it's really quite a cycle out there sometimes, yeah. The desktop I have now is a mini GMK Tech. I don't even know what that means. Tiny little thing, $299. And it has handled anything I put on it. The key for me was an external hard drive because I have a lot of downloads and docs. Okay. So you needed that extra sort of memory space to be working to. Now, by freeing up memory space, is that also then going to free up processing power? I don't know how all that works. I'm so terrible at technology. Oh, my God. I mean, I was young at a time when computers were first coming out. I should have. See, I store everything in this cloud. What am I paying like $10 a month for to store shit? Shit. Why do I need an external hard drive? I just ashed on my floor. Abby, did you watch the last show, Abby? How exciting was that? Abby, yes or no? Tell me right away. Well, Abby, you can put me on in front of your friend, you know. I don't have to be your dirty little secret that you hide away from everyone. In fact, the idea, Abby, my dear, is to spread me around a little bit. because I need to be spread around, you know. Wait, what's wrong with Hiawatha? Brother, you can quit anytime you want. Sis ain't feeling real hot tonight. What, you got you eat the lettuce? You been eating the lettuce? You didn't go to that Tyler Farms lettuce buffet, did you? I told you stay away from there. That's a trick. Gonna need a diaper, sister. Hiawatha saying hi to Boston. And Abby saying hello to all. And of course, if you don't feel good, you don't have to listen to my voice drone on either. You can cut me off. I like the idea of a mini that works well. That suits me. And Hiawatha saying hi to Abby. Boston saying, Hiawatha, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? And again, Abby saying she was going to join sooner, but had a friend over. I mean, we'll just turn it on then. You know, it's good for the numbers. You know what I mean? That's my favorite part of the breakdown in the numbers is how long people watch. And I must say, compared to some, we get a pretty long watch now. That either means that people are waiting to see what I'm going to say next, or they hate you so much that they're just waiting around to get their one little comment in. I think it's the first thing. Not necessarily what I'm going to say, but I just think I'm kind of like a background show. Like it could be almost like a background show. Like put on your TV the show you would normally watch, whatever that is, Matlock, you know, Cheers, whatever you guys are watching these days, these kids. And Murder, She Wrote. I'm not sure what's popular. And put that on and watch your show, but I'm just on in the background, you know, on occasion, comments. Then again, some people sit here and they really, really like the full interaction with the chat. For that, you may need to turn Matlock down and pay attention to our show. Hiawatha saying, yeah, I'm okay, just tired tonight. Yeah, I was feeling really generally whooped. You know how when you get older, you just sort of feel that. Like when you're young, you don't feel that way. It seems like every waking moment, you know, almost like, well, maybe not. I'm sure maybe Abby would disagree with me. She's young, you know. But it sure seems like if you had say they always say you got a little devil or a little angel on your shoulder, you know, that that little devil could always get you to do something when you're 20, you know, like, hey, you should go to the bar right now. Wait, what? Who said that? You know, hey, you might want to think about smoking this joint and going to the bar. Okay, let's go. You know, but I wouldn't even consider that right now. The Angels winning today, like, no, you're old enough. You've had your time, you know. Ashay saying storage, and you want to have adequate RAM. Like a big Dodge Power Wagon, a big old RAM. Anything that you would save, either save it in the cloud or save it to an external HD. Yeah, I do use the cloud. I don't think I have that. I mean, I just watch things. I'm not saving this stuff, you know. I don't know if it stays stuck somewhere or something. I have no idea how it works. But like I guess I do have plenty of my own videos, but that's wrapped up in either the YouTube or whatever. Like it's not as if they're their own separate video files. That would take up a lot of space. Although them Google Photos, that feeds right in there. That would do it. And I make a lot of videos on my phone. That would do it. You're right. But that shit should all be under cloud. Boston asking Hiawatha, did you work today? Well, have you eaten any lettuce? It's hurting me immensely to not have my lettuce, kale, and spinach. I know, and it's that time of year for like. I mean, I love a good, you know, bowl of lettuce with all the fixings, you know. It's like a little artwork, you know. You can just make it different every time, and I like all kind of little things. I like alfalfa sprouts, maybe some fresh mushroom, perhaps some actual. Junior was here, he would agree, some chunks of blue cheese, or maybe just a little shredded cheddar. Tonight I will be eating specially prepared for me. Oh, I had never been inside the Japanese restaurant next door, the steakhouse, right? So I was pretty shocked to see that each place where you sat in there wasn't just a table. It was like its own hibachi station. I've been in places where there's one hibachi station and they make you something on request, but there were 4 or 5 of them in the restaurant. So like a hibachi chef could sit at each one, and there could be like 10 people in a C-section, say, around that. And that sounds fun. You know, you got the fire going and it smells good, I'm sure. Oh, Abby hasn't seen the last show. No, I only put it up because, Abs, I mean, you know, you said something, you know, you've been seeing a lot of weird shit. Now, I don't know if you're not filming everything or having the opportunity to, but do you continue? Let me ask you, are you continuing to see weird shit? Because you saw a large triangular shaped Dorito craft going over, which you did a recreation for us, which, by the way, I was going to play on the last show, but I had to do a restart. There was no stopping the last show. That was going to be a hit. You know, new live. Well, because I did a big drop for you, Ab. You got your own big drop and everything. So, you know, I just want you to see it, you know. That's all. Just want you to see the big drop. It was a good one. I was so on. Oh, God, I got to tell you guys, after that show, I was like high. I mean, high. And not from the weed. I mean, I was high from the show. Maybe it was the weed. I'm not sure. But I felt great. It was like I had taken a happy pill. I just felt like it was just such a good, for me, it was just a really, I don't know. There was an extra element about it. It felt important, you know. And I felt like it came across really well. But yeah, I mean, a couple photos from a person right here where I live, you know, around the area. And I was now a couple more people in the room. I was just telling Dandy singularly when the show first started, but I pretty much have an interview nailed down with the photographer who is actually going to be, it looks, willing to come on camera and reveal their story for us. And I want to try something new for the first time. Obviously, I've pulled people in for interviews on the show before. Now you can see I'm having technical difficulty. But I'm going to actually go to the location. There's Wi-Fi available. I'll bring this cheap-ass laptop and my microphone. And this person's going to sit on the same side of the camera as me in person. And then, damn it, I'm going to point the camera right from this here computer right up through the same trees that this person looked and saw that amazing triangle craft hovering there, Abby, making a low, and people love it when I do this oscillating sound. Hovered there for over 20 minutes. The pictures are dramatic. The story is even more dramatic, as I feel like there could be a lost time element to this story, which we'll be talking to the photographer about. Things weren't gelling up time-wise. It does turn out. I've had a few more conversations with this person, and it turns out there could be a little something to that. So, again, it was over a pond around electrical lines. I'd like to show that pond. I'd like to show those electrical lines. But more than anything, I want to sit down with this person and hear this story firsthand, like I would with so many of you. And if you're interested in doing so, please contact me. I'm the host of the show. My name's Derek Farmer. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. 2 things I don't bullshit about: my name and where I'm from. I now live in Elkhart, Indiana. I work for Jets Pizza, and I enjoy amateur broadcasting. Turn-ons. Let's see. Warm pie cooling in the windowsill. Turn-offs. White Sox. So what I'm saying is this should be a good show. This is going to be a fun one. And this should be happening relatively soon, next week or two, I hope, to get out to the location and actually sit down with this person. And yeah. Oh, no, you're never slacking, Abs. Not at all. Not at all. You work, you go to school, you work full time, you got a big family. You have. I'm absolutely thrilled that you have an active social life. Apparently, you do have friends. And so yeah. Boston saying, hey, someone put up a funny pic. It was a Taco Bell sign. You guys know you get explosive diarrhea here, so who called the news? Oh, it worried me because I had, before they said Taco Bell, I had been craving. I've been having some problems with my teeth again, so I can't eat the hard shell. I have to go stupid soft shell. Otherwise, I'd have hard shell. But I got the big pack with the shredded lettuce. And then the next day, they're like, it's been tied to Taco Bell. And I'm looking at the bag, and I'm thinking, like, man, I just ate like a half a pound of shredded lettuce. But that was almost 2 weeks ago, which apparently once you get past that 2-week point, you should be good. But I haven't felt any different. I certainly haven't eaten any lettuce since then. And whatever this salad is here tonight they gave me, that's sweet of them, but I'm not going to eat it. I am curious what a Japanese salad looks like, though. I mean, I know it's going to have green lettuce. I'm not saying it's going to. Come on, guys. Really, let's grow up, please. Abby saying, I've been late spring cleaning. Considering it's the middle of summer, you're a bit late, dear. And getting my classes picked for next semester. But I commend the fact that you are spring cleaning and not waiting until next spring to do it. So good for you. It's good. It'll smell fresh. You have like 17 or 18 cats, right? I mean, that's got to be an issue. I'm not sure if you're one of these people, you have like gerbils or lizards or anything. Don't do it. Don't get them. You've got enough cats. You're in a small apartment. But I know you love your animals, so. I got to see Thad yesterday, right? No, Tuesday. Today is Thursday. I don't even know what day it is. No, yeah. Yesterday was my day off. Oh, I had a fun day off yesterday. So I go to Kalamazoo. Let's see, what did I do? I went and saw Justin from Justin's Beaks and Bass Covers. She was, shit. Sorry, Justin, man. I butcher the name of that every time. The bass player that I interviewed, my friend from high school. In fact, Abby knows his son too. I shouldn't probably dox his son and call him out, but I worked with him at Jets. He's been kind of social with, I think, with your sister and everything. Sorry. Good kid, really great kid, Garrett. So yeah, like I'm really good friends with his dad, and he's my metal detecting. He was doing it a lot longer, and he understands. He's a smart dude. Obviously he's a great bass player. He can read music. Yeah. Oh, so I did that. I went over there. Had a quick beer on Doobie. Sometimes you got to do that on a day off, even if it is the middle of the afternoon or morning. Who cares? Well, Boston's glad you're here. Yay to Abby Morris. Shay asking, where do you keep your UFO stuff? Why, Shay? Are you gonna send the Men in Black? If I was a Men in Black, I'd show up in like a totally like a rainbow suit just to really throw people off. Oh no, the guy in the tube top is here. What the fuck? He wants the UFO class. I mean, I think they're typecasting up the guys in black, but I believe they're real. Shay saying, I'm sorry, I'm rattling on. Hello, Boston. Hiawatha, Mustang, Abby, Danny, whatever that is. Who'd I miss? Who's Danny? Oh, Dandy, probably. I'm not sure if I trust guys named Danny. As kids, it's okay. But you know, I don't know. I did know an adult Danny. Really great guy, actually. He used to be the one that mowed the property out there, related to the landowner. Yeah. But I'm not sure if I trust everyone named Danny. Hey, Jari, how are you? Good to see you. Of course, Hiawatha calling out my picture, saying it looked fake and shit. Me sweating, explaining, no. I was taking pictures of this screenshot and putting it up. No, it's real shit. I mean, it's real as far as I know. Could I be being trolled or tricked? I really don't think so. Again, I've talked to this person multiple times since then, and they're doubling down and tripling down. So they've now showed their family and friends the video that we made. I say we. You guys were all there. I mean, you're the inspiration for me staying on. I would have killed this stream 5 minutes in had somebody not shown up. No doubt. I was irritated. Now I'm not irritated. You see how it works? Yeah, I didn't get to play my multiple clips of all the other creators saying how great I was. I remember they said it. It's okay. Hi, Wild saying, Jari, hey, hon. And Jari saying, I'm missing my salad too. Yeah. I don't eat a lot of the thing is, I don't like a lot of different vegetables. I know based on advice from nutrition type people, doctor type people, that green leafy vegetables have benefits. Not that iceberg shit. That's basically water. We know that. Maybe it can't be bad for you. It's not like eating a bar of taffy. But it's just, I like a good leafy lettuce, spinach leaves, like someone said earlier. Hearts of romaine, pig's feet, all that stuff. I love it all. But Hiawatha saying hi to Shay. Abby saying, "Oh, I'll watch it tonight or tomorrow for sure. Yeah, it'll be better than this broadcast. No offense. It was an exciting broadcast. It really. There were a couple technical issues but I quickly got around those, and thank you, Hiawatha. Thank you for saying so. It was so exciting for me to do. It really was, especially when you get the reaction from people and you realize you got something that really does stand out. It's not one of those things where, like, a lot of them, you're kind of like, okay, that could be this or that could be that. I just don't feel like that was going down with these photographs. I feel like, again, if they're real, and I believe they are, it's just so evidently clear that something is there, I don't see how anyone could deny it. Again, I'm not saying that means that they come from far off or that's not some kind of human-made craft. But I do have to question the military aspect of something like that. When you talk about keeping the separation between private property, citizens' property, and running the risk of exposing whatever you may be exposing militarily. I mean, let's say that is military. Something goes wrong and it sits there for 20 minutes and then you get pictures of it and it crashes on your property and starts a fire, like Mrs. O'Leary's cow. I find this weird. By the way, we're going to talk about the Great Chicago Fire now that we're on the air. Boss is saying hi to Jari. And Boss is saying Shay. Hey, Shay. Or no, Boston asking, Aya, is this you, Shay? Yes, I can confirm it is Shay. And she even confirms for herself that it is herself. Hiawatha, who is guaranteeing lettuce? Wait, someone's guaranteeing lettuce? How can they guarantee it? I was saying I'm disabled. I didn't know that. Boston, and no, I didn't get the explosive diarrhea. I did get a head of iceberg today, guaranteed to be safe. I mean, what did Rabbi bless it or something? I mean, I don't, I don't understand. Maybe it's not from these sources that they've sort of narrowed it down to. Yeah, I mean, people are still ordering salads. You know where I'm at. I take a lot of layers off now. I hope the company doesn't mind, but I'm worried about it. I don't like this because this is one part of the food system that scares me. Things aren't grown regionally anymore, even when I was a kid, okay, way back in the 70s and early 80s. You didn't get corn until July or August. That was as early. You can get corn in like May now. I mean, where's it all coming from? Things had a time and place vegetable wise. You would eat the season's last grapefruits and then wait until the next year. And so as we sort of have these mega farms that are like they have been for decades, gobbling up the mom and pop farms, just like these stores, the big box stores, gobble up the mom and pop grocery stores to save a dime here and a dollar there. You run the risk then of when something does happen, it infecting a lot more people. And sure the hell would be another way that we could think about just how we should be thinking about going forward in the future as a society, in my opinion, about making things simpler. Once again, that doesn't mean throw away your phone and computer and make your life simpler like that. But when we talk about supply chains, what can we do to simplify our supply chains, to deviate and break up those supply chains so that we are compartmentalizing potential breakouts of things we don't want to deal with. Also, it's a good skill to learn to grow your own food, why don't people, I don't understand why people aren't motivated enough. I would do this. Say you get 10 people. Well, I can't afford to buy 5 acres of land and make my own food. But what if we get 10 people to go in on 5 or 7 acres of land that's all divided up, and you each have your own little section, and you're planting this and they're planting that. And next thing you know, for months out, and then you're learning how to do canning together. Just because you're doing this kind of thing doesn't mean you also have to be stockpiling ammunition. I think a lot of liberals think that if you start canning food and growing it, I know they grow a lot of gardens, but I see this as very much something that may be a skill set that's certainly like a shade tree mechanic. People just don't have to even change their own oil or fix a flat. They don't even understand what kind of tool would take the wheel off anymore. That we're losing this knowledge base, this do it yourself knowledge base. And companies don't want you having that. Of course, it only suits their financial needs to make products that can't be worked on. And then if you do work on them, they may have caveats where you are canceling out warranties or even worse, putting even homeowners insurance policies at risk. We used to not throw anything away. If it broke, we repaired it because it was a quality made item, and repairing the interior of whatever that was worth that amount of money, was worth going through the time to drop it off at the toaster repair shop, because old Fred down there knew how to take apart a toaster and re-put in whatever part it needed. Because that damn toaster then would last you another 30 years. That's not where we're at anymore. Go look at all the shelves in every single store from one side of this world to the next. It's nothing but a bunch of cheap plastic bullshit. Sure, you can buy a toaster for $7, $8. It's garbage. Doesn't last a year. And then you don't bother repairing it, right? It's right in a landfill. We're gonna have to figure some things out as a society going forward, guys, in my opinion. And we have a lot to deal with here coming up soon, because once it drops, people can say, no. War is a big deal. The economy is a big deal. All this and that's a big deal. But when word finally drops that our government has been going behind our backs, because it's going to lead to more and more questions. Once the government says they're real and we recovered craft and biological entities, people are going to want then details. And they're going to start relating stories with whistleblowers who said things, who were murdered. And then, unless there's complete immunity, it could cause somewhat of a UAP revolution. These legacy, Senator Daniel Inouye said famously years ago, we appear to have a system where corporations have their own military. There's a second military that has their own equipment, their own helicopters, their own everything, guns, obviously, technological weapons. There seems to be another police force that's not accountable to anyone. There's a shadow government running things, in my opinion. There's a cabal. You can put a million words on it. There's a list of elites that don't want something about this system to change. But all of this is null and void because it's all out of their control. It's not up to them. It's ultimately up to the non-human intelligence to make their presence known beyond a reasonable doubt. Which is what I think the ultimatum is to the powers that be. Which is why they're now rushing through this process of disclosure. And we are rushing through it. It would be just 1 year ago where elements of our own government factions of our own government that should be involved in this, NASA, Aero. A year ago, they're saying, there's nothing, this is farcical. There's nothing to it. We've come a long way since then. The President of the United States today just cleared the way for whistleblowers who have non-disclosure agreements to waive those non-disclosure agreements. And that goes for federal contractors, not just people in the federal government. So any contractors sitting on a military base somewhere with this technology who's forced people into signing unconstitutional non-disclosure agreements based on literally, they're called extra constitutional NDAs. What that means is everything up to including killing you to keep whatever secret. The president is clearing the way for those to be null and void. This is going to cause, hopefully, the floodgates to open once one or two come out more and more, once they see, hopefully, they're safe. We already know we have a list of dead and missing people just from recent activity. A story that has not gone away just because Derek stopped talking about it and the internet stopped talking about it and the news stopped talking about it. General William Neal McCaslin is still missing. Amy Eskridge is dead. Melissa Casillas' body was found 2 months ago on a trail with a gun next to her body. Details still unknown. The Legacy Control Group knows no boundaries. The only thing that's going to stop them is by clearing the way for people to be not held responsible in the ways that they now can do so. The president has done that today, at least a first step towards that. And even though I'm a liberal, I'm big enough to be able to look at the president and say, thank you, Mr. President. That was the right thing to do. Much like I can with, by the way, him paving the way for treatment for soldiers who are hooked on these opiates, which, believe me, the medical field and the pharmaceutical, and I come from a pharmaceutical town. Just look up Upjohn, Pharmacia, and Pfizer. Okay? Very powerful. But they love keeping people hooked up on this shit. They feed each other. The doctors push the drugs. The drug makers make the money and reward the doctors. I've seen this cycle as a delivery guy many, many times, as I'm bringing free lunches from drug reps to feed basically entire hospitals for huge amounts of money. Why? Because they're lining their pockets, just like politicians get their pockets lined to push a product, to break a rule, to break down a regulation, so that another corporation can take advantage of a human being. We're going to have to change our ways going forward a little bit. I hope it's not too late. I'll read a few comments here. Abby saying, starting with Shay, been going to do it for a while, but kept forgetting about it. But I decided for some stuff I follow or do to use my name may not be wise. No, right. I mean, I kind of thought about it that way too. And, you know, but I say my name every show. I mean, Derek Farmer is just part of the broadcast. I can't get away from it. You know, I should have thought about that at the beginning. Abby's saying I have 2 wonderful kitties, and that's enough for this little overpriced studio. Yeah, right. And 2 is good. 2's enough. Shay's saying no, Farmer. I was referring to storage on your computer. Okay. Shay's saying hi to Dandy. Is Dandy back? Abby asking how is Thad? Thad just finished a regimen of antibiotics. Apparently, I did talk to the kids that watch him now. I say kids, they're like 30. That feels like a kid to me now, I guess. So. But I mean, I stopped over there yesterday, took him for a walk. He looked very healthy. I put a short up, walking him. He looked healthy. He had a good attitude. He seemed happy. He was really happy to see me. Of course, I was sad leaving him again. It's tough, you know. Saw my mom yesterday also at the nursing home. And so yeah, I would say overall he's doing okay. He still has ear issues, but they're trying. At least they're trying. They're staying on top of something, you know. And at some point, somebody will have enough resources to get him to a vet and get it operated on or something like that. That's what it needs, you know. But it's going to be a couple $1,000, you know. That's just the way it is. I haven't checked in on. We're talking about pet health insurance though. The new these new kids that live over, they're really resourceful. You know, they have already built a brand new chicken coop. They have like a dozen or 2 dozen chickens. They're eating fresh eggs already. I mean, these guys jumped into the lifestyle out there at the property really pretty head on, and so I commend them for that. And I feel good with Thad at least being out there with folks like that. So. I mean, again, the RV he was staying in, the AC was running. And when I got there were no other humans there. I opened the door. The AC is on. He's nice and cool. I'm sure he's lonely. I'm sure that's the one catch, you know, is that he doesn't have the same amount of attention. I mean, even when I was there, at least I wasn't always doing stuff with him, but I was just with him. You know how that is. Just being in the presence of someone that you love or like, you don't have to be having constant, you know, conversation with that person, but just or animal, whatever. But just having them merely in your same space can be soothing and comforting in so many ways. Vice versa, but I'm sure him for me and me for him. You know, I miss having him just in my space, just laying next to me and. You know, it's just a comfort thing, you know. So, but Abby, to answer your question, I would be lying if I, you know, said he didn't appear to be doing decent, at least as good as when I was there. And he had a good attitude. He was happy. He was leading the way and peeing and pooping, and it was just great. It was great, yeah. And Mom, too, she was peeing and pooping great. Everything was working out yesterday. I mean, I stopped and got Mom a big bag of snacks. That made me feel good, you know. I like to walk in the door with something. My mom has helped me out so much in my life, not just financially, and not a ton financially, honestly, but just supportive, you know, like, I mean, she bitched at me all the time, but damn it, nobody else better. You know what I mean? All you moms know what I'm talking about. You know. Yeah. Hi, Waffle saying I crave the fresh veg in the summer. That's an E. Yeah, an E, sorry. Oh no, that was that. I'm not sure what was what, but something was something. Shay's saying, I have wild tomatoes. Wild tomato? I've never heard of a wild tomato. What the hell is a wild tomato? I heard of wild strawberries. I used to eat those right off the ground. Wild tomato? That sounds crazy to me. Oh, yeah. Hiawatha asking, is this Shay? It is. I know, Boston. Did you watch the short that I made with him yesterday? But I know it's not the same as just doing the live and he's here and he sort of, you know, puts his head up through my arm or shakes that damn head one more time, you know. I miss all my dogs, Boston. I mean, I had 2 dogs. I mean, neither one of them were mine. But I miss those dogs, you know. There was a reason I didn't bring them with me to the soybean field. I just didn't feel like it. I mean, I wanted to be working a lot more than I did that year. And so it really held me back that way. I'm able to not work, you know. I mean, look, maybe shortly, if I can ever get stable enough to be in a place that would be accommodating to a large dog, and I could get the vet care that he needs, I'd take him in a second. I really would. I really would. But I think he's not doing such a. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to just look at it. He's got toys. He's got people around. Yeah, they work, but they're very active around him, even if they're not, say, playing with him. They're outside. They're very outdoorsy. You know, they're into the lifestyle of turning that property into something. And I just couldn't take the time to do that at that time. And they work together as a team. You know, it's a couple. When you're just by yourself constantly, it's I believe it's more difficult sometimes. Sometimes it's not. Some people, I mean, I work good on my own too. But having somebody that you're in sync with, like on a project, it just goes like boom, 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 you know. A boss is saying you're lucky with those tomatoes. Hiawatha, my daughter has tomatoes and peppers blooming everywhere from what she planted last year. I would guess what, some maybe a couple fall off and then rot into the ground from the previous year, and then through the normal process will spring up new ones. I just have never experienced that. Mostly because I don't grow things well, except for weed. I grow really great weed, not going to lie. And I mean really great weed with a high percentage and big number of trichomes, which is what I always try to concentrate on, because that's where your power and your flavor is at. And I found the only thing that could bring those trichomes on in any sort of, it looked dusted. My weed always looked like it was dusted with crystals. And that was cold temperatures for 12 hours of darkness. But you have to be willing to spend a little money on air conditioning and keep your weed tent cold, very cold. And if you think about the climate that really good weed grows in Hindu Valley Kush, Afghan Kush, the very mountainous areas out west, very mountainous areas. So at daytime, you're getting that full sun, but at night, it's getting cold, even in the summer sometimes, later summer, overnight. And it's those cold temperatures that force, and the lack of sunshine that force the process of it creating the trichomes on the plant. And that's the yummy stuff. Came from the Citywide Food Bank. Oh, you talking about this this horrendous whatever they put on us here? Hiawatha's saying why? Stalker? Oh, probably to Shay, why she doesn't want to use her name. Well, she had her first and last name. I mean, she, like I said, it's not anybody we're not creeps, you guys, so we don't think about this stuff. But there are people out there that see a name and they go, oh, I can find you in 5 minutes. And why they need to worry about that, I don't know, but some people are nutty cuckoo. Cyclosporiasis, that's the name of it, yeah. Oh, great. 3 weeks? I thought it was 2 weeks. God, I ate those Taco Bell soft tacos about 10 days ago. Are you telling me that I still have 10 days to go? Uncool. Hiawatha, that's great. And Shay said, I'm going to start compiling a collection of short stories about Aya and the Mighty Pooh. The Mighty Pooh is the reincarnation of my beloved Neep, the mighty dog. He was magical. Well, you should do that. Short stories are fun. Abby saying, I need to start a Derek commune. No. And not in the sense where people are looking at me to be a guru. I'm no guru. But do I commune well with others? Of course I do. I mean, that's how I preferred to live for most of my life, was with friends, renting out rooms or renting a room. When I owned a house, I rented out rooms. When I didn't, I rented rooms. We got roommates. I've never been one that enjoys living alone, under most circumstances. Oh, look who's joining us here. We have BP Puma joining. Had a few technical issues. I was going to kill this stream, but if we're going to have a few people in the room, then I will continue to suck on this halfway warm Budweiser and hang out here for a bit. I haven't had any dinner yet tonight. I'm saving it until after the show. Like I always do, because once I eat, it's over. But I will not. BP, ask him to see. He knows. Yes, he made me dinner tonight. I haven't even opened it yet. I always eat right before I go to bed. I know this is bad, but I don't use a microwave. I don't own a microwave, and we don't have one in the house. Or television set. And no one's even said the word television set in 40 years, by the way. But I just always wait till the end of the night. It's when I want to eat. I mean, you guys don't want to hear me eating noodles on the air, right? Or do you? The only exception I would make is when my boss will burst in the door and tell me to try something. I will do that just for the air because I think it's good. It's good radio, if you will. Yeah, I know good radio. I don't think I'm making it tonight, by the way. I think we're going to call tonight just to hang out. The last show was the good without. Let's see. Shay saying, what was Shay saying? I'll post my spin on Disposable Society on the community page. Of course you will. You better. Yeah, and anybody, for that matter, anyone that wants to go to the community page here at the channel, that's open for anyone here more than a week who wishes to do so. You can put up your own content, your own video, your own whatever you want to do. I don't care. As long as it's not like trying to offend anyone, which I don't think there's anyone in our community that goes out of their way to offend anyone. We have a really cool small community. in my opinion. One that seems to genuinely like each other and the time that we spend together. I mean, I would like at some point to get this whole Shamil working better. Maybe once in a while somebody call in and talk, with me, or just call in and say hi. A couple minutes of anything you want to talk about. Who cares? Just to hear your voice, And try saying yes to something someone said. But at this point, 20 minutes behind, I am not sure what that was. I hope it was an agreement with something I did good, though. Selfishly. Boston saying I could never get that. I could never get that do-it-yourself thing to take hold, so I just beat everything with a butter knife. Yeah, that'll work sometimes. Sure does. The collapse of Western society began with the invention of disposable razors. Well, I'm not sure about that, but which will bring about NWO. And anybody knows, Niggas with Attitude, great band from the 80s. That's right. That was a real band, NWO. What was it, NWA? NWA, yeah. One of the few rap routines that I bothered to listen to. I wasn't real into rap, but there was a couple I liked. NWA I thought was great. Also liked, help me out here. Oh, man, I haven't listened to rap in a long time. It's been for Farmer. But I used to like, I like that old school stuff, I like the old school stuff. Maybe a little house music, something like that. I like slow rap. I like a low, slow rap if I listen to it. I don't like the real sped up stuff. I like it to seem like you're kind of just sitting and chilling back in a chair and going on about life. Same thing I like about rock and roll. Honestly, to be honest with you. And the aliens are demonic. Well, Boston, that's what you're saying, but are they all demonic? Do they have bad intentions? I agree there's a trickster element to it. By the way, that's the name of the band. I wasn't just throwing that word out there. That was a real band that existed. In fact, they were quite notable for fighting against censorship. Yeah, sure thing. They had to fight Tipper Gore, in the 80s and 90s. Oh, that was Al Gore's wife, who was big on censorship. And they ended up settling, and NWA was part of this, settling for the parental advisory sticker on the album. A stupid compromise. Well, that was dumb. Did the smoking warning, the Surgeon General smoking warning, ever stop anybody from trying cigarettes? No. In fact, that thing became a de facto stamp to kids for it being cooler than just a regular album. Ooh, this one's got a little element of that, censorship to it. It made them want to listen to it more. Why? Because when you're young, you like to say fuck you and do what you want. That's why. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, I worry about kids that don't have a little bit of that in them to sort of maybe they're not trying to offend, but they're also not trying to, live some prearranged moral code that they should be, especially when it comes to art. I think it's important to some things are just shock value, but some things make it quite an exclamation point when they step out of the safety zone. Of a Norman Rockwell painting and step into the unsafe place of a Jackson Pollock, So I'm about to cry for Thad. Oh no, don't do that. He was happy. He really was happy. He swear he was. He did whine a little bit, and he didn't want me to leave. Like, he blocked my path when I tried to leave the RV, and he kept sitting on my feet. Yeah, it made me sad. Yeah. Oh, my mom knows about Thad. Yeah. Of course, my mom's dog I had to give to some really good friends. I'm so glad that I was able to give Louie to people that already previously knew him, and they used to bring their little dog over, and their little dog died. He got old. Remy was his name. And so when Louis needed a home, they just snapped up right on. They're like, we'll take Louis. We love Louis. So that, and then they buy him little outfits now, and then she puts him in a backpack and takes him everywhere. Like, I never did any of that stuff. Louis is living his best life right now. I don't feel so bad about that. But did I want to do it? Oh, thanks, BP Puma. I'm doing good. I get a little bummed out sometimes. Yeah. Oh, you missed the short. That's okay. It's up there. Can mom have pizza? She can eat it now. Yeah, she's off restricted diets. This is part of also my mom's improvement has been coming off that restricted diet, and she got new teeth. They came in, measured the mouth, did the whole deal, gave her teeth. Because the hospital threw away her old teeth by accident. I don't know if she left them in the soup or something. Look, I don't know. They chucked them. And she had no teeth. And she was on a restricted diet. This made her go down to 77 pounds. And then she got sick. And that's when I thought for sure it was not this last winter, but the winter before last. She went into the hospital, and I kind of thought, things weren't going well at all. In fact, that they called and said, you need to come up here. Things aren't going well at all. And I just had a heart to heart. I'm like, no, this is not happening right now. You are going to eat. And she did. And so, yeah, she can eat pizza. Yep. I brought her Subway yesterday and a bunch of snacks, of course, but she loves her chips. She likes her certain things. Her Ritz crackers with the peanut butter. She gotta have that, little things like that. Some cookies. I stopped at the donut shop, got her a couple basic donuts. She doesn't like the ones all filled up. She takes a bite and shit's, plopping out everywhere, like some kind of a sugary volcano. And she prefers just like a cake donut or a glazed. Shay saying, my dog likes tomatoes, so they carry them all over the yard, hence wild tomatoes. Interesting. Wow. I never met a dog that carried a tomato. You must have some weird little dogs. Farmer, I watched it, I think, 4 to 5 times. Oh, which one? The Thad short? Aw. I used to live in Delphi, says Shay, and I'm not too far from there now. None of us are. No one's ever far away from Delphi. It has a way of creeping back in. Abby saying Guru Derek. Swami Farmer. Yeah, right. Yeah, if I only had any wisdom, that would be wonderful, guys. But I'm just stumbling my way through it like everyone, Shay said I haven't had a TV in 15 years, maybe 16. That hasn't been that long for me, but I don't miss it. I would like one just to put things from the internet up, put the YouTube and the Amazon, the bullshit right up there with the smart TV. A BP saying, I'm going to hit the dusty trail. Have a great night, Derek. You too, buddy. Some people get off on watching people eat online. It's so gross. I've seen that. Yeah, I'm not into that. I'm not into that, man. I'm not going to make that part of my show. No way. Now, it doesn't mean I won't grill, or cook. But that's part of the whole thing. If I take a bite, okay, fine. But I know what you're talking about. It's weird, and I don't like it. I'm not doing that. No way. And Howard used to play this lady that would eat and then put on these pantyhose and rip parts. I mean, it was really weird stuff. Really weird stuff, man. And people were paying her to do this, you know. I don't know. I gotta go with something a little more content than that. The aliens announcing themselves will bring about New World Order, us against them. Well, I don't think it's cut and dry yet, Jerry. I don't. I mean, and I don't think that just because all of us get together that indicates a New World Order. It may have to come to that to a degree. Or none of that's going to happen. Right? Like if they're so advanced, I don't think there's going to be any fighting going on, you know? Basically, they just do what they want. You know, yeah. A farmer just thinking about cyclosporia is really bad. Maybe if I was you, I would not smoke for a couple weeks and eat Greek yogurt and kimchi and sauerkraut. I don't know if it could help, but worth a try. Yeah, good for the gut biome, right, Boston? And Shay saying goodnight to BP Puma. And I concur. Okay, we're at the end of it. Wow, I can't believe I've been on for an hour and 30 minutes. I mean, I'm not even sure what I have gone on about. I'm not sure what I've gone on about. But if anybody has any questions, of course, feel free to put those up in the chat. I didn't even bother to take my Jets shirt off tonight. You know, this is I just turned it on and just went nutty, buddy. I just knew that I was going to broadcast. Sometimes you just know when you're going to broadcast. But I'm very much now looking forward to this this shrimp lo mein dish that BP has had prepared for me tonight. I got my apologies again to anybody that had heard me say the N-word. That was part of a band name. And it's not a hard ER on the end. It's an A. So that's important. Just in case anyone goes back and replay it and hears that word. Oh, Shay saying the alien announcement will be great time to bring about some unity. There are enough of us who have known for decades about them, and we could potentially head off the hysteria. I agree. So that's one part of it, right? The slow disclosure. I mean, to me, that's the idea. That a small percentage of people are sort of, you know, in the know as much as we can be. And so that when it does come out, we can sort of help the other ones that can't handle it, basically. And the only reason they're not going to be able to handle it is because we have a lockdown on what we feel like our reality is as humans. Like, there's no question. You wake up in the morning, the kids got to get to school, the soccer practice, the work, the job, you do this, you get that half a sick day a month, you got 3 left, you got a personal day, you know what you have to do. And then you say right in the middle of that, which is hard enough, oh, by the way, we've been in contact. We have agreements with something that you can't see unless it chooses to show itself to you. That can also put random thoughts into your head that can take away your time and make you forget entire blocks of time. That can take things out of your body, including sperm, eggs, skin samples, and then return things to your body, such as implants, that are then taken out by surgeons. And I believe there's a conspiracy with that. I think there's got to be a lot of surgeons that are actually in the know on this, and they have a directive right away to send those chips and those things they're digging out of people right up to a certain place. What else could be going on, right? So, let's say following up with that could lead people toward that New World Order. No, I get that. I was, but I mean, I had considered it. Not gonna lie. Well, what kind of things, Abby? What have you been seeing? Please tell me. You have to be more specific. Have you, I mean, I haven't seen that too big headlighted drone thing that we saw that night. Pretty much in a month or two, maybe 3. Damn it! I asked something for it again. Oy, oy, oy. But I mean, seeing a Dorito craft fly, seeing a triangular craft fly through the air. For my listeners who have seen triangle crafts, and apparently there's a few of you at this point now. In fact, there might be 4 of you now. I might have 4 personal listeners who have actually witnessed triangle craft. That's pretty amazing considering I have about 11 listeners. So what are the real percentages out there, guys, when we're talking about people having these experiences? I mean, are you guys just gathering here because of these experiences? I don't think so. I kind of think that we were a community before I even started basically talking about this subject matter. How many people are actually having these experiences or have had them that either want to forget or have been forced to forget and maybe are recollecting now things that they saw decades ago? People are going to want answers for all that. This is all going to feed into what I think is, again, I think I had it backwards. I honestly think the religious sector and the religious communities in this country and around the world may be actually in better shape to deal with this. For one, you have an infrastructure of a supporting community. 2, you're dealing with subject matter that they've dealt with just in a bit different verbiage. But don't confuse the fact. I do believe the phenomenon and supernatural and miracles and all of this stuff at some point might fit together into one narrative. Why it shows itself as so many different shapes, sizes, types of entities in different situations may just play back to that trickster element, in that it's showing us something that it wants us to perceive or something that it knows that we're already perceiving in some kind of unholy pareidolia. Abby's saying, I've been seeing bright stars disappear as soon as I look at them. I saw that Dorito-shaped thing. I see super fast things streaking across the sky a lot too. It's when they change direction that you got to watch it. If something is streaking, could be a satellite. I mean, satellites definitely streak, but it's generally in a one straight line. Same with meteorites. When you get something making right angle turns at 30,000 feet, going 5,000 miles an hour, what else could it be? If not advanced craft, then that technology was gleaned from some sort of off-world technology or some kind of technology we're unaware of. I think at some point time travel is going to work its way back into this. I don't know how. We can leave that for dessert sometime, but I do think it's there somewhere. Shay saying when I saw my first one, it was on a Sunday. And we had to go to another county to get beer. Mm-hmm. Back road takes, right. That sounds like one of those trips. You go to grab some beer on a dry Sunday in your county to go, of course, Shay, I mean, basically, you're living in the same sort of geography that I'm living in, so I get it. You got the corn on the side, you got the beautiful dirt road, and, oh, yeah, you can't catch them sometimes. I know, Ab. You'd have to just literally have your camera on, basically turn it on when you go outside and hope that you catch something. Shay with a sharp bend that has one lane wooden bridge. Ooh, is that still around? I'd love to go drive that today. We stopped on the bridge and heard this rustling sound. Out of nowhere, a herd of deer walked out of the woods and stopped, staring. Let's read that again. Shay says, we heard this rustling sound. Out of nowhere, a herd of deer walked out of the woods and stopped, staring. Okay. Something else came after this, so you saw a craft. Mustang saying the aliens have landed. Oh, they landed a long time ago. Yeah. I mean, I basically think that they understand our desire to have technology, and they're using technology as sort of a I don't know. I don't know. I got to work that out somehow. But it sounds more to me like they're just able to basically manifest whatever they want. They moved on to some kind of vibrational plane. Oh, no, I don't have that Elon Musk internet. No, that was out in the country. No, I got, basic like cable company internet, which seems to be just as shitty as that. Where does the guy get a good signal around here? Shay saying we looked that way, and in the distance on the highway about a half mile from us was a farmhouse. Sitting practically on top of it was the triangle, as big as the roof of the house. That seems to be about a standard size too. That's about what this craft that this photographer took. This person isn't a professional photographer. As the photographer of the photo, to me, it looks like it's about the size of a house. Really, it is. At least it's dimensionally speaking. Maybe not as thick, Just hanging there. I believe it realized we were watching it, and after some minutes, it took off silently. Yeah, I mean, they have some kind of awareness when they're being observed. Now, you guys know we did a show on the double slit experiment, which I have also heard referred to as the law of human observation, with electrons that, when observed, the electrons go where they should. When you stop looking at them, they hit random patterns. This is the scientific experiment that basically proved to me we're not alone. When I saw that happen and I saw the experiment played out and read about it, that's something we've known since the 1920s. I knew that was just way too much. That's way too much woo. Oh, why would an electron fire out of an electron gun differently based on your human observation of it? There's something greater going on. I don't know what it is, but that's the only way to me to explain that. And for the pattern to be that every time you watch it, it goes where it's pointed. Every time you don't watch it, it goes into a random pattern. That should have been a showstopper in 1920. And I think it was for a lot of people and a lot of science. And if you look at the 30s and the 20s, there was a lot of esoteric stuff going on. They realized there was another element to life. Is plasma that sort of fourth state of matter? Possibly. They say it could be a sentient state of matter. Whatever plasma is. Again, it's just a word in my brain. But it doesn't conjure anything for me except for the fireballs that I saw in the sky or these orbs. What it means beyond that, like, what does it want? What numbers is it hearing? How compromised are we? What is it doing? Is it doing recon? Why is it running a grid pattern over airports, over military bases? Is it assessing our ability to defend ourselves? These are all questions that are coming from the general population. Some people may know some of the answers, but I don't think everyone knows everything. Again, it's going to be up to the phenomenon to clue us into that. And until that point happens, where I feel that's happening honestly, I have no other choice but to feel this phenomenon has malevolent intentions when it comes to humans. And that's the depressing part, unfortunately. Ashay saying it had lights and everything, not giving off any light, but glowing. I can't afford internet, so I pay extra, the hotspot on my phone, because it's cheaper. Oh, yeah. You can turn your phone into a basic internet hotspot. Yeah, I've read about that stuff. Is it significantly cheaper? Ashay saying those deer were very aware of it, or maybe they just got dropped back off there. Yeah, right. No kidding. Maybe 3 of them didn't make it off the ship, you know. They were jerky. Deer jerky, which I'm sure the aliens love. Oh, humanity is cooked, as the kids say these days. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Hiawatha. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off here. I hope you do too. I hope that you wake up tomorrow refreshed, ready for action, and ready to re-embrace an exciting life. Abby say my phone bill's an extra $10 a month for the hotspot. I have a router and modem. Internet for that would be at least $40 or $50 a month. Oh yeah, for sure. Jerry saying goodnight, Hiawatha, and Shay saying they've been saying that for generations. Oh, that humanity's cooked? Yeah, that's true. They have. Every generation says it about the one before it, you know. Shay saying goodnight, dear friend Hiawatha. I concur. Hiawatha saying, Abby, yes, that's what I do. $65 a month for internet and phone. Not bad. I have to look into that myself. How do you feel? Do you feel then what do you port it to your computer? I guess you can just turn on the hotspot on your laptop and turn that and get it over there somehow. I don't know. I'm asking for Brad, you know. Not that I'm looking to save money. I'm just looking to find something that works, for God's sakes. Again, though, it could be this computer and not the internet. Hotspot for my TV. Okay, I got you. You can put up whatever you want up there on your smarty pants TV. I know they're doing a lot more with that. It might be, but service wise, is it just straddled to the service itself? Like, let's say your phone doesn't get great service, but now it's a hotspot. Does that mean it's going to be a hotspot without great service? Does it do anything to improve the actual internet? Or are you straddled with whatever quality the phone line was? I don't know. I was saying a lot of people, yeah, I've heard of this Xfinity. They got different ones, you know. I think that's maybe team. I don't know what that is. Shay saying for live streaming, you'd want a tablet to use with a phone. I actually have an Apple iPad. That'd be something good, like a tablet. I want to say Abby, yes, Verizon through Walmart. Never had a problem with it. Okay. I mean, it sounds like a pretty inexpensive way to have internet and phone service. $65. That's good. I pay $60 just for the phone, you know. And it's terrible service. I have Boost Mobile though. It's like some garbage shit, you know. But my boss has AT&T. He's not happy with that. Just talked to a guy with Verizon, said it's terrible. My question is there any good phone service anywhere? Or have we gobbled up all the bandwidth or something that's just causing it to be bad everywhere? I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and find out. But I'm encouraged, anyways, to sort of end this with a thought that President Trump has taken the position of freeing whistleblowers from their non-disclosure agreements. This is going to make disclosure happen quicker, bottom line, and more truthfully. With all that being said, you guys, thanks for sticking around tonight and putting up with me through my technical issues and everything else. And always remember, Abby, keep your eye on those skies. You've been seeing a lot of weird stuff. So you got the, I wouldn't call it a gift because sometimes the gift gets a little creepy, but for whatever reason, they're showing off to you pretty good. Record what you can. Always keep in your mind. Record. I'm still on my mom's phone plan, but we really only got the hotspot because I'm in school again. Well, yeah, you got to have internet in school. Come on. Bye, Jari. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you guys soon. I am going to hopefully get over to, again, the location within the next week. I hope. I get an over Verizon service here. Nada, I use Cricket. $35 a month, but only 10G internet. Because I use, well, yeah, sure. You don't need to if you got home Wi-Fi, though. You just have it open. And Shay saying, bless up. I'm glad you caught me, too. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for being here. And we'll talk to you guys really soon. Keep your eyes out for any shorts that I may be doing, whatever. But we'll talk to you guys soon. And from right here in Elkhart, Indiana. I'm not going anywhere. We'll see you soon. Let's hope disclosure happens sooner rather than later. I'm sick of waiting. I think whatever it is, we just don't have a choice. We're going to have to deal with it. So the sooner the better. Thank you, Mr. President. That was the right thing to do. And we'll hope you keep following through with the right things to do. We'll hold you accountable. Night, Shay.